fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku Puzzle. It's Monday the 21st of November 2022, and I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Is this your first time with Sudoku? Well, come along with me on a magic carpet ride or something. We shall slip into the land of Sudoku, a world where only logic matters. Opinions don't matter. Of course, people can have opinions about how they like to solve the game, but opinions on whether something should be in a place or not don't matter. Only logic matters. If you're logically correct, and then the puzzle will work out. If you have made a mistake, the puzzle won't work out. That's as simple as it gets, really, and that's really how the game is played and what it's about. Yes, it's a game of logic, it's not a game of mathematics, and if you'd like to test your logic, well, Sudoku is a great way to do it. It generally involves a lot of yes or no type logic, as opposed to other kinds of logic which are necessary for human endeavor. But let's get on and show you how to play the game, because this is a beginner level day. Monday, it's always beginner level day with the Guardian Easy crossword. You will see that on the screen I am highlighting in blue different rows. There are 9 of these rows, and each one of the rows contains 9 squares. We sometimes call them cells. Now in this row you can see 9 and 8 are already placed. In this row 4, 7 and 5 are already placed. In this row 5, 8, 9, 3 are placed. And what do we have to do? Well, we have to fill up each of the 9 squares with digits, and we start at 1 and we work our way up to 9. But it's not the fact that they are numbers, they are just logic placeholders. It's nothing to do with maths. We do exactly the same thing with each column. You can see there's 3, 5, 1, 6 here. So we're looking for 2, we're looking for 4, we're looking for 7, we're looking for 8, we're looking for 9 to complete this column. And here you can see we already have 5, 8, 1, 6 in the top 4 squares. And we're looking for 2 and 3 and 4 and 7. 2, 3, 4, 7 to finish off this column here. But wait, we haven't quite finished yet, because you'll see also these smaller grids. You'll see the black outlines here dividing the big grid into small 3x3 mini grids, and we need the numbers 1 to 9 in those as well. So of course no number can repeat itself in a block, in a column, or in a row. Right, now you know the entirety of Sudoku. That's it. We can relax now. That's all you need to know to be able to play the game. So how do we find the numbers? Well, as I said, we use logic to find the numbers. So let's begin down in this bottom corner down here. You can begin anywhere you like, but if you see something, well, that's the way to begin. So I'm going to tell you how to find an 8 in this square here. What we do is we look for surrounding 8s. Now, if you're playing on a computer, you can click on 1 8. If you're playing with pen and paper, you need to kind of scan up and down and across with your eyes to see what's going on. But here it's a bit easier if you're using the computer. But I recommend pen and paper to begin playing the game. Now, we have an 8 up here. So that means that 8 must not be repeated in this column. So when we block down here, I use the term blocking. These 2 squares here cannot become 8. Now we've got an 8 in this row here, and that means that this square here can't become 8. And we've got an 8 over here, which means that this square here can't become 8. And as I said to you, that means that the 8 must appear in this square here, this cell here, for this particular block. It can't go anywhere else. Now we'll take that 8 that we just put in and say that it blocks up in. We look at this block here. This 8 blocks or forbids any square here from becoming an 8. The 8 blocks down here, and the 8 blocks across here. So guess what? We've got ourselves another 8 in that square there. We're going to take the 8 that we just inserted, and we're going to bring it across to the left, and this 8 across to the left, and this 8 up here. So in this block here now, there's only one space where the 8 can go. And now we're going to take that 8 and say going up here, and this 8 going up here, and this 8 going across here, and in this block here there is an 8. And now that's it for 8s, because we actually have an 8 in each of the small mini grids that I mentioned previously, and that means that is the total of 8s, because each mini grid contains numbers 1 to 9, and so if we have, logically, if we have an 8 in each of them, well, we're finished with 8s, so we don't need to find any more 8s. Okay. Right, now actually we can place a 5 into this square here, and have a look and see if you can find how we do that. I'll give you a second. Alright, I think that's long enough. When we click on the 5 here, you'll see this 5 blocks this square down here, but up here, look, right at the top, there's a 5, so it blocks all the way down here. And so we know that there must be a 5 in that square there. Oh, it's a fun game, isn't it? How about up in this block up here? We haven't looked at the top yet. Find the 5 in this block here. Okay, it's not that bad, was it? 5 blocking across here and 5 blocking across here. So the 5 has to be in that square. Right, so you might say, well, it seems quite boring, you know. This is pretty easy. Is that all there is to it? Yes, that is all there is to it, but I promise you it's not boring, because you are playing a beginner level game where everything can be found without too much of a headache. But when you get, after you've played a few games and you start moving up in level, the difficulty level increases, and it becomes an amazing feat of logic sometimes to try and find the missing numbers. Right now, you'll see I've highlighted 1s here, so this one blocking up here, these ones blocking across, and so a 1 must fit here. I'm going to do the same thing going down here with the 1 we just placed, and this one going up. That will put a 1 there. Do you see what's going on now? Okay. Now, how should we play the game? Well, okay, let's see. There's a 4 that we can place in this block down here as well. We don't yet have 4. We've got 1, 8, 3, 9, 5. We don't have 4, but we can place a 4. 4 is fairly easy to see, I think. When you highlight it, certainly it becomes easier. 4 is blocking down here and down here like this. Excuse me if your screen just jumped there. Mine did too. I know yours did, because mine did. I don't know why. It just, this website suddenly sometimes jumps. And if you're saying website, where is the website? You sent me off to The Guardian. Well, there is a second link called Sudoku Exchange, which is where I play these games, and where I transfer the numbers into manually. And that's what you can do too. Right, so we have 9s blocking across these 2 rows and a 9 up here, so that's going to put a 9 into that square there. Okay, now we have 1s blocking across like this, and across like this, and across like this. So in this column, look, this column down here, we don't yet have digit 1, but we have 1s blocking these 3 squares here from leftwards. And so we know that the 1 must appear like so. Then we can take that 1 again, and 1 blocking across here and 1 down here. That's going to put a 1 in this square, and we can take the 1s like this and say, hey, there goes a 1 there, and that was indeed the last one. So like digit 8, 1 and 8, 1 and 8, you'll find a 1 and an 8 in every one of these small mini grids. So that means it's complete now. 1 and 8 rather. Right, what else do we need to do? Haven't really woken up this morning. I've started playing this game before I'm fully awake, but let's kind of, I haven't even properly looked at the grid yet, to be honest with you. Where are we? Let's have a look. Let's just have a click on a number and see what comes up. So you can go through the numbers in series like this to look for things like this. When you highlight the number, it sometimes becomes a lot easier to see. So that's one of the benefits of playing on the computer. And I've gotten used to it after a while, I must admit. 3's blocking across these squares here puts a 3 into that square. That 3 blocks down. That 3 is going to appear here. When I first started playing the game, I only had books. I didn't even use the internet at all. I just had some, well, newspaper games and books. And using the pen and paper is really good training, I think. threes block like this. So here's our 3. I think it is good to play the game with pen and paper when you first start. But when you get onto the really expert level games, I think the computer is invaluable because it can help you with the logic. I mean, it's not cheating or anything like that. It just can help you sometimes. Then again, though, sometimes I've found that actually using candidates on a pen and paper can sometimes be better than Sudoku Exchange for me. The way that I write the candidates on the sheet can actually help me. Recently, this channel has started to play the game without candidates, and if you're wondering what are candidates, I'm not going to tell you because we're just playing beginner's game here, but you'll find out if you stick with the channel and look for a few more games. You'll find out what they are. I'm looking for 256 going there, so 7, 9. Okay. So often if you see like a couple of numbers missing like this in this column, it's a good idea to see what they are. I don't know if this is going to give me the answer or not, but when I look down and find what's missing, I find that 2 and 6 are the missing numbers, and joy of joys for a Monday morning, we've got a 6 over here. So what does it tell us? It tells us that this square here can't be 6, but we need a 6 for this column. So we know that that square must be the 6. Excuse me, I sometimes hit the wrong key on the keyboard. And this is the final square in the column, so it must be a 2 to complete every number 1 to 9 in the column. So now we have a completed column, our first completed column. So we've completed digits 1, 3, and 8. All the 3s are now got, all the 8s are got, all the 1s are got. We've also have a completed column down here, so we're making our way along, you see. And hopefully you are understanding what I'm saying. Of course, we do have a lot of non-English speakers on the channel, or rather English is not as their first language, and so hopefully my speech patterns are not too difficult to decipher. And I probably shouldn't say words like decipher, should I? I should say understand, would make it better. 5 across here, 5 across here, and 5 down here puts a 5 into this square here. 5 blocking up here, 5 blocking down here, 5 across here. Hey, here's the space for our 5. Now 5 across here and 5 across here puts a 5 into that square, and that is the final 5. So now, like 1, 3, and 8, our 5s are finished for the morning. They'll be required for other duties later in the day. We have a 9 blocking across here like this, and a 9 blocking across here. So we shall place a 9 in this square here. Let's see. Let's investigate what's missing here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. When I find out what's missing from this bottom row, I see the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9. What it means I'm missing is 4 and 7, and so, yay! Fortunately for us, there are in fact 2 4s attacking this square. So either you saw this 4 or you see this 4. It doesn't matter, whichever way you look at it. This square can't be a 4, so we know that the 4 must appear here. And the 7 has to be in this square here. And now we have just one number for this block here, right? This mini block is only one number missing. Of course, if there's one number missing, we must be able to get it, mustn't we? And we find it's a 6. That's the only number missing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will appear here. 7, 8, 9. Now in this column, we're just one number missing as well. And when we check which number it is, we find it's a 2. Now I can find it a little bit quicker than you probably if you're a beginner. But don't worry, you'll be able to find these numbers more quickly. And check out the link to my eye training for Sudoku game, eye training for Sudoku as well, which will help you to speed up finding some of these numbers. And it goes right from beginner level. So there's a link at the end. When this video finishes, there'll be a link you can click on. Right, where am I? What do I need to look for? There are 2 squares missing in this column as well. Let me see what they are. They are 2 and 7. That's what we need for this column here. Now, can we find any intersecting 2s and 7s? Where do I have to look? I have to look along the rows and within the blocks, of course. And ta-da! There's a 2. It means that this can't be 2, right? So the 2 has to be in this square, and the 7 will finish this column. And now there's just one number for this block to get, and that's going to be a 2 as well. This 2 here blocks all the way across here, and that means that this square will be a 2. And so there's only one number missing here, which is 6. Let's fill that in now. The 6 blocks back in this direction, the 6 blocks back here, that will be a 6. Or you could have just said, there's one number missing in this row, what is it? And it will be a 6. It's the same information. 6 blocks down here, 6 blocks across here. Here is the 6. 6 blocks all the way up here, 6 blocks up here. The 6 goes in that square there. 6 blocks across here, 6 blocks across here, and the 6 from the bottom blocking all the way up here gives us a 6. The final 6 in that square there. Now, what were the other things? 2 blocks across here like this, so that's going to give me a 2 in that square. There's 2 blocks up here and 2 blocks across here, so 2 is the final 2 there. Now we just one number either for this column or this mini block, and it's going to be the same number, of course, because that's the magic of Sudoku. It's going to be a 4. Now this 4 is going to block across here, and that's going to put a 4 into that square. This 4 is going to block that square there, and this 4 is going to block over here, and that's going to give us a 4 there. We still have a 4 missing down here. We have 4 blocking here. That's going to put a 4 into that square there. And then we have 4 blocking across here like this, and that's going to give us our final 4 up there. There is one empty square. This is the place we should look next. Whenever you see a single empty square in a column or a row or a block like this, you should do it. That's a 7, so let's fill that in. And now there's one number 7 missing from this column here. I'll fill that in there, and that 7 is going to block all the way across here, and that's going to put a 7 in that square there. There's also a 7 missing here. Look, there's one empty square down here that needs a 7 as well. I'm going to take that 7 up here. I'm going to put a 7 at the end there. Now we just have digit 9 left to finish. I can see something you can't see. I have a block of numbers that I can fill. So 9 is the only number remaining, so I'm just going to fill in the 9 everywhere, and you will see how the game finishes. There we are. So that's your first ever, or maybe your second ever, or an early level game, entry level game into Sudoku. Now you have arrived on Planet Sudoku. Please don't leave. Check out some of the links. There's a link for eye training, where you'll see me standing on a grid. Or there is a link to lots of other easy level games that you can practice. That's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Come back again, though.